All right, traders. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Doc from North America. It is TGIF? Yes, F. Thank goodness it's Friday. Yay! Yay! All right, we are happy about all that. Let's see what else we got. A filled order. Excellent, excellent. There we go. Let's get rid of that. There we go. All right, now, brown cow. Oh, I have something very interesting up there this morning. We're going to go through that in a little bit. Let's first start off with just looking at the dollar. And then we've got a story that is really, really good. It's about the GDP yesterday. As I mentioned yesterday, somewhere along the line that the internals, was all a lot. We were expecting 2% in GDP, gross domestic product, for the fourth quarter, and it came out to be 3.3. And, I said, the majority of it was jobs by the government. They've been hiring people to do anything, everything, and whatever they got nothing better, to do. So, we looked at the numbers and kept on looking at the numbers and wondering, is anybody going to really push on it? And finally, they're putting out some information on it. Let's see if we can find it here. Right there, and let's see, right there. There it is. There's the dollar. Oh, we got Bitcoin up there. Notice Bitcoin's trying to lift up again today. Let's get the dollar index up there. There it is, right there. And you can see the dollar index is trying to drop. I guess we must be seeing. Let's just take a quick look over here. I'd imagine what that's trying to tell us is that the bonds might be going, they must be going down. Interest rates must be going down, and the price must be going up. So we'll take a look at that. We saw some strength in there yesterday. So no, not really. Isn't that interesting? And where are we at there? 103.10. I guess, we're coming down from that 103. Let's see where it's at. Let's put it up on here, too, at the same time. So the bonds are not really moving that much, and that's a little surprising. I would have thought that there must have been some type of movement on the bond side that put that little push into it. Let's take a look and see. And you can see here, let's go on to you can see the same thing on the beta right there. It's moving down like that. Green's still over on the J4X, and you can see it's at 55.4, 55.5 as it's called. 20 now, but it's dancing, that's for sure. Either way, the blue line now is lower than the slow yellow dashed. So it's at 59.6 on the slow and 55 on the fast, and it's turning into that sell. We got that red dot developing here. You got this giving you that warning of a downwardly pressure. You can see here the hinky ashkies will shift over the next couple hours. And let's see, what else can we say? And then we go over and take a look at it on the main platform. Whoa, we got somebody here. DB, what's happening? What's happening? You're laughing out loud. I like that. Robin says, Doc's opinion of a market? Just ask. Robin says, SPY. All right, let's see what the SPY's up to. I just want to show you this right here on the other screen. And then we go to the SPY. We go right to the SPY. There it is right there. Same action on that dollar index there. All right, now let's jump to, we're going to hippity hop over to the SPY. Right there to there to there. I like that laugh out loud. That's good. I like laugh out loud because I can be definitely exotic. Let's put it that way. And there is the SPY. You can see SPY lifting up a little bit. It's been in the sell for 3 days. Every time they try to take it up, it finds a way to go down. Let's see. Let's put it up on the beta. There we are. And there's a SPY. Is that showing today? Let's make this bigger for a moment and see what it's showing. Yeah, that hasn't started ticking on the 26th yet. So you got these 2 days here. Let's go back to right there. And you can see we're in the sell right there. Same thing as we are 3 days solely because this is already showing us today's action here on our old main screen. So ROFL, is that a stock? ROFL, or is that an acronym? An acronym. All right. So now let's go over to. Let me know if that's a stock. I'll look it up and put it up on the screen. Let's go back over to the story I wanted to talk about. It's very fascinating. So yesterday we had the gross domestic product. Let's see if we can get it up on the screen. Let's see, where's that? That's there. What is that? What is that? Oh, let's get rid of that. Like so. There it is, right there. And let's get this up on the screen. Rolling on floor laughing. That's my interpretation of Coneheads. See, right there. Okay, so basically, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but and I could read you all the basic math, but what it comes down to now is, where's it at? It's right here. It's really interesting. It takes there it is there. It says, so the result for better or worse speak for themselves, while Q4 GDP rose by $329 billion to $27.939 trillion, a respectable, if made up number even. It's it's a damn good number. What is much more disturbing, though, is that over the same time period, the U.S. budget deficit rose by more than 50% to $510 billion. And it's like, oh, bummer. In other words, it rose, the government, let's see, the result, better or worse, was that it went up 329, but the government spent $510 billion. So it's like, ouch, And the cherry on the top of that increase, public debt, same 3-month period, was $834 billion, or 154%. So you go back and look at it. It now takes $1.55 in budget spending and deficit, basically, to generate $1 of growth. So in other words, you want $1 of growth, you have to spend $1.55. Ooh, there's a bargain, huh? And then it says, and it takes over $2.50 in new debt to generate $1 in GDP. So that's even worse. Okay, so that's what the problem is. We've been saying this for, I don't know, 3 or 4 quarters. The amount of growth, or let's put it this way, the amount of spending to get the growth that they get every time they do a GDP thing, or statistic, it takes more money than it's putting into the American economy. So we have a $1.55 budget deficit, and out of it we get $1 of growth. It'd be one thing if they put $1 in for $1. They'd be like, okay, yeah, you're breaking even, you're pumping it up. Okay. It would be nice if it was 90 cents versus $1 of growth. But no, we're spending $1.55 to get $1 of growth to make that GDP go up. And it takes over $2.50 in new debt. Okay, new debt. In other words, more borrowing to generate that $1. So now it's like 2.5 times more, which is ugly, ugly, ugly. Coneheads would be making that noise in the morning. They'd be, when they seen like an eggplant, and Mrs. Conehead be walking in the supermarket. She saw that. She thought it was some type of attack creature, and she would go, ah! And so every time they had an issue, so you can basically make that Conehead sound every time they say, hey, guess what? Instead of 2% of GDP, we had 3.3. Well, it cost us $2.50 of new debt to get that $1, or so I guess you could say is with 3% plus of GDP, forget those $3, we needed to spend 3 times $2.50. So that comes up to $7.50. So ouch. Putting out $7.50 to get that 3% is definitely the scream of a Conehead. That's for sure. All right. And that's the fun. There are so many other strange things that go on in this marketplace. I would be not even reflecting our algorithm or answering questions or what do we got? We got here. So GH says, "Hi, what's your opinion on cable?" Ooh, we got good opinion on cable. Cable has taken over the number one spot from Swiss franc. So let's put that up on the old screen, and then we'll finish off the rest of your question. Let's see, and let's get rid of the. Let's see, where's it at? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, so let's get rid of that right there. And then let's jump over to cable right there. There we go. There it is right there. So the cable has been in a weekly buy, as you can see right here in our algorithm, since back here. Pretty hard to fudge our numbers since we're live every day and it's recorded every day by YouTube. So I can't influence YouTube. So you can see it has had that upwardly projection. This is on a week-to-week basis. The center algorithm is the daily. So in other words, when there's a daily buy there, and we're in a weekly buy, so you can be long. We like when we're in a weekly buy and a daily buy, we say you can trade it on the long side, and vice versa. If we're in a weekly sell, and let's move this thing over. Just give you an idea of how the platform works. We're in a weekly sell starting there back in August, and every time we go into a sell, you can take the sell, sell, sell. And the way it is really, the go, no-go line or the zero line is right there. So when the histogram and the green line are above the zero line, that's in the buy signal. But since we're in a weekly sell, we do not take that. We just cover shorts or just watch it and let it ride up and then wait for the next sell signal. Like there's the next sell signal within the weekly sell. You sell it there and notice it goes down. Notice you get a buy signal. It finds ways to go up. Daily goes into a sell. It goes down. I'm not sure where the little green line got to from there, but let's see if we can put it in there. We'll steal that one. I probably stole it. That's why. And you can see it gets through the zero line right there. That last, since it's in the sell, you never take it. And then it goes right back into the sell. Let's steal this sell right there. So that's the process of it all. All right, now we slide back to right now. It's been in the daily buy for 3 days. And it's been in that weekly buy for 3, 6, 9, bunch of weeks, like 13, 14 weeks. That's how that works. So let's go back and finish that question from GH. Hi, what's your opinion on cable? Well, now it's the number one pairs trade at the moment. It's doing really well. After PCE, PCE data that expect to be soft, Powell favorite inflation indicator will start a new downtrend in the dollar index. Hard to say. It's hard to say. We will show you. We'll know about 15 minutes before the number comes out. We usually get a good indication of how they're starting to, choose a direction. So I think what's pretty much. I like to delve into that last part. I think that's really good. After the PCE data that expects to be soft. Well, the economy is not really growing very well, but the statistics are because the government's borrowing money to pump up the economy. Problem is that it's not influencing food and the staples and everything people need, clothing and so forth. So they can push the GDP up. And what does that produce? It produces more government jobs. And so that's not really good for growing food. It's not really good for making clothes, so forth and so on. So Powell favorite inflation indicator will start a new downtrend. I'm not sure they're going to trust it that much. Let me think. How else can I say that? We'll see what the number is. Can they influence it? You're right. It's going to be a soft number because they can't influence. In other words, you're thinking that the recessionary number month over month is going to be 3.1, whereas the year over year is still at 4.4%. Money managers watch the 4.1. They watch the year over year. And so inflation has not really been going down. Matter of fact, it's been going up 11 out of 12 months. I guess it could be. Last month was 11 out of 12 months that it's been going up, inflation. And so, I mean, increasing. I mean, inflation is up, and, hence the word. But over the last, will this be 12 out of 13? I kind of think it might. The GDP may help. I'm not sure. I'm not. I'm more of CPI in norm. But we'll look deeper into it. But I don't. Right now I know that that's not. Let's put it this way. We'll see. What is it? We got 12. We got 42 minutes before it comes out. Now we're going to get a tip off. That's at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the United States. We'll get a tip off about quarter after when they release it to the reporters. The reporters allow some people to front run it, and the government doesn't care. So we'll talk about it in another basically 12 and 15, 27 minutes, 26 minutes. We'll have a better feel for it before it comes out. So that's all I can say is, when you see so much, I don't want to call it manipulation. I want to say creative ways of making gross domestic product lift and things like that. When you see that, it's pretty hard to take any of the numbers serious. But money managers chase after it. Will it be as powerful as you're asking? I guess so on some short-term level, but overall they're going to be looking at the core rate more than they're going to looking at the month over month, and the core rate is year over year. So I hope that answers your question. And then the second part of it was start a new downtrend on the dollar index. Good. Let's go back to the dollar index. That is where we left off. So as you can see here, the dollar index now is trying to break down. You can see it here on the beta. Oh, okay, you're not seeing the beta. So where do we have it over here? Is it there? Here we go. Let's go over to here. Here's the dollar index, because that's what you're really asking. How do I like the cable? I love the cable. I think the cable wants to, keep on climbing around on the upside. I'm not sure if it's going to be doing it after the number or not, but it is in a buy right now, and it's been in a buy. Let's just reflect that again with you, right there again. You can see that. It's not exactly exploding. What's interesting about the cable, though, is you got three peaks here, and now you got a fourth one. A lot of times that's a sign of a breakout on the upside if they take out these, if they take out the 28 area again. And if they close above the 28 area, this could be a hot, it could be some real strength kicking in. Since we've been in that weekly buy, as I've explained to you, and the daily buy, we're in there still right now. Reason why, because it dropped below the zero line. It's because we have a green dot there and a red dot, which leaves it with yesterday's trend or the previous day's trend. And so now, instead of coming in a sell, we came in as a buy still. And so we're in the buy still here, and you can see the strength kicking in there. So a lot of times currencies lead the news more than anything else. So now let's go back to the dollar index itself, since you asked. That was the second part of the question, really. Well, it's part of it. You have the PCE in there, and that's interesting. I don't have a strong opinion about the PCE since it's a government stat. And the only thing I can, like I said before, I'm repeating myself. Sorry about that. But, I'm not really worried about the month over month. I'm watching more of the year over year. And so the media likes to talk about the month over month because it's kind of soft. You're right. And so what am I looking for here on that? Let's skip that, and we go back over to the dollar index right there. There it is right there. And so you can see it's a little weak here this morning, and it is flirting with the daily sell. It's been in the daily buy for, I don't know, weeks upon weeks. This is a fast algorithm right here, the little dotted one. And that usually gives you some warning. But we always recommend on our technical analysis to follow the slow, which is the green and the white, because the green and the white, because you're not seeing my charts all day long like I see them. You're only seeing a picture of them in the morning. So it's better to hold off. And you can see by holding off, it showed that there was strength coming in, but the slow was still underneath. And then when the slow started to take off, we started to see more. Now it was in the daily buy, and it was protecting you from being short out of this whole period. But we like to show that the conservative side of the technical analysis algorithms. This way, you're not flying by the seat of your pants. You're not, as we used to call it, being a shooter on the floor. So I hope that helps. And you can see this dollar index trying to develop right there. And then when we put it down in the center, that's usually when it's confirmed. I hope does that help, BH? Oh, was it OH? GH. Manam? GH? I hope that helped. And we're looking forward to the numbers in, let's see, it's 7 minutes of. So we're talking about 22 minutes now. We'll start seeing some action from what's being released, because they will release it to the reporters, and then the reporters will, basically, spill their guts and to the money managers, and the money managers will nibble for fun, and that's the name of the game. I'm glad I answered it. Yeah, and I think that's just, I'm going to not repeat myself, but I'm going to repeat a subject I just said to you. Money managers like watching that year over year more. They're not really happy because they're investing 6 months to a year out all the time. Their objective is to keep the portfolio balanced, but they are really investing, outwardly by 6 months, 9 months, a year, that type of thing. And so they have a tendency to look at all statistics on a year over year basis. There's a few things that they'll pay attention to if you're bond trading. Bond traders and bond managers will follow the month over month very easily. Matter of fact, they follow the day over the day. Actually, they follow the minute over a minute. They're very aggressive. That's why they refer to them as bond vigilantes. And they're not a listed market. And since they're not a listed market, they get away with being very vicious. So managers overall will look at year over year, except for the bond guys that are looking literally minute over minute. So let's see where we at there. So that is the story there. All right, now from there, let's jump over to the euro. Where's the euro at? Right there. And there's the good old cable still right there. And we'll put the euro up right above it. And you can see it's trying to get into the buy today. So the currency pairs are leaning in the idea, just like the dollar index is aiming down, as you see it on J4X there at 103.09 versus 103.13. It's aiming down. So I'm imagining that they're looking, the bond vigilantes are doing this. This is who's moving the currencies, is the short-term bond vigilantes, which is the largest market in the world is the bond traders. And it's not a listed exchange. It's like the currencies. It's over the counter, back office, non-listed trading. And so I'm putting the euro up on J4X now. Unless you want to see something else, just let me know. So the trading that you see going on is being influenced always by the bond market. And since it's not a listed market, one moment the bond can be yielding, let's say 4%. And if they see some information that comes out that's really death-defying, really bad, I've seen bonds go to 390 in 2 ticks. That's can sit there for months or weeks or days, doing nothing, going back and forth. And if something comes out that they think is not conducive for the bond market, they can move that thing up or down, from 4 flat to 410 in literally minutes, and same thing or the opposite side of it. And so then the currencies join in, and then the stocks, depending on where their head's at. Remember, stocks are benefited, and it's a very small market compared to the largest market in the world are bond market. The second largest market in the world is the currency market, and that's only like a quarter of the size of the bond market. Yeah, can you imagine that? Then the next largest market in the world is the oil market. And that's basically about, I guess you could say it's about 5% or 10% of the bond market at most. But that's a big number still, because the stock market is barely 1% of the bond market. And so the managers, depending on what they're doing, in other words, how their incorporation manifesto is for their fund and how they're supposed to invest, can be deeply involved in buying stocks when inflation is rising, because it's considered like an inflation factor. Now, not all stocks, consumer stocks, because people need those consumer stocks and they're going to reach for them all the time. And so then in between the oil market is the gold market. The gold market is about half the size of the oil market, and then you go into the stock market. So the metals market is definitely a much bigger game compared to the stock market. It's very small overall. What else can we say about it? I can say this, talking about in a philosophical way about the markets, that we've been losing stocks because there's been consolidation since the quantitative easing has been enormously aggressive towards consolidation, because companies could borrow money at 0.5% or 1% or 1.5% and buy major companies up, make their company bigger. Some were actually, I think Apple actually borrowed money at a 0.25 percentage point. They don't need to. They have 150 to 200 billion in cash all the time, but they did. They actually borrowed money to buy something. I forget what it was. Maybe it was that headphone set company or something like that. They, and it's like that throughout the whole stock market, and that's why you see a lot of these indices are missing stocks now. There's less stocks in them. So, like the Russell 2000 or the Wilshire 5000. The Wilshire 5000 only has something like 3,300 stocks in it now. It's, companies. The Russell 2000 still has 2,000. Problem is that over almost 60% of them are not making money. Because they're low caps, and the most you're allowed to have in the Russell 2000 is a $5 billion company, and the lowest is a little less than $500 million. So, there's all these mechanics to the market that we talk about here sometimes. What else can we say? I guess that's enough. So there's the euro. But if anybody out there wants to see any particular product, just say it. And then just go through my rhythm normally. Just do the average things here. I will stop and we'll go look. Just like Robin asked for SPY. The S&P 500 ETF. All right, now, from there, we're in the euro. It's trying to lift up. We see that. Now, the Swiss was really riding really well, but it got a little too inflationary. And so over the last weekend, I saw the article, or was it last Friday, where the Central Bank of Switzerland now, the federal bank there, is kind of pushing the currency down a little bit, not trying to reduce some of its strength because of or is it vice versa? It's trying to reduce the inflation. So that means their currency must have been dropping to a point where it was importing in inflation. So, and the country, it's only 8.5 million people, so they don't really need any more inflation than they already have, like everybody else. Year over year, it's at 4%, 4.1, I think, to be exact. And that's what they'll be really watching today. They'll be watching the core. And the money matter, in the beginning, there'll be a quick, up and down, excitement. And then they'll be looking at the internals, and they'll be looking at the core rate year over year. And that's going to be the answer to how it all rolls. All right. From there, we're going to drift over to, and there it is. There's the Swiss. As you can see, the Swiss is down in a sell for the third day since here. Hasn't really gone anywhere. Went down, went up, went down. We're in a weekly buy at this point, or it's over the weekly number, so you really don't want to take any shorts, that's for sure. And if it goes into a daily buy, you kind of want to be on the long side because we're in that weekly buy area now. So we're going through a change here, and you can see how long it was in the sell back in the low 90 area, back in here. Went into the weekly sell, and there were some nice wins out of it. All right. So then from there we jump over to the yen, and there's the yen. And let's put the yen up on J4X. JJ4X. Right there. There we go. You see a little green popping up. We're still in a sell for a few days. I guess that should be down here at this point. No, I see what happened. So it went into a sell, went back into a buy. Let's steal these. So it went into a buy there. Went into a, we can throw this and everybody will come right up. Went into a sell there. And then it went right back into the sell again. Steal that and put it there. You can see that right there. And it hasn't done anything really that good out of the sell. But we're in weekly we're in weekly buys now for 2.5 weeks here. So, or 2 full weeks. So you don't really want to, and you see here, when it gets through the manifold, there's a 99% chance it's staying in the weekly buy for the week, right there. And so, let's see if we do that again with this mouse, right there. When you see the weekly through the manifold line right there on the weekly. So at this point, we slid into a sell, but it's not going down very well. And it's because we're in that weekly buy, so the overall pressure is pushing. Oh, DB says, how's Bitcoin doing? The dip buyers come in? That's a good question. Let's go take a look and see. Bitcoin. Mr. and Mrs. Bitcoin. And this is the GBTC right there. And you can see, let's widen that out a little bit. Give it some breathing space there. It's trying to go into the sell at the moment. It didn't go into the sell yesterday, but yesterday it did go into the sell. The day before it did not. Let's remove that like that, and then go like this, like that, and you can see today it's definitely up. Now let's over on our beta platform. Here's our beta platform. Right. There we go. So yeah, you can see that strength in it today. You can see it's in a sell, but it's fighting to go back into the buy there too, just the same way as we're starting to see it on the other. Now this is the Bitcoin itself. The other one is the GBTC, which is the ETF. And you can see here it's been in a weekly sell for a couple of weeks. It's trying to lift up. You can see that much. And you can see the pressure that it's been on since it went to the 48 area. I guess we'll see a little bouncing going on in here. You would think so. I really enjoy the cryptos. I really think that they are a good equity. They're a whole new genre, I guess you could call it. We've been a big supporter of them and being involved in them since 2015. So I've been, we're always saying, don't be so scared about it all. Just be smart about it. And right now, our math has done really great with it over the, over the years. You can see here we were in a weekly buy throughout that whole ride up. I think it stalled out somewhere around in here. We went into started flirting with the weekly sell. What's that? 4 weeks ago, right? Yeah. So there's like 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. Back in here, I think it went into the weekly sell right around here, right before that last spike, and then the daily sell was right there and caught most of the ride. You had some hesitations, but overall it's been no complaint. Let's put it that way. So there's our Bitcoin situation, and then obviously, like I said, the GBTC, the ETF for the equity market. You can see here we were in the weekly buy all the way back into September in the $20-ish area, $23, $25, no, $20-ish area, teens, I guess. It went in the teens, and it climbed and stayed in that buy all the way up until this week. It's flirting with the sell, and it's getting ready to go through the manifold. Looks like it's going to go into the sell right there. It's getting ready to go, and it's kept you out of that slide. Let's put it that way. And now it's trying to tell you that the trend is down. I'm not sure, so I'd be surprised how much of a trend down it's going to be. Yeah. So True. We need cryptos as an off ramp where running away inflation kicks in. Yeah, not only that, it's a good banking tool. Okay, I don't really care about it's going to terrorists and this and that. I mean, obviously, if you had law enforcement doing its job, not the Securities Exchange Commission or Commodities Futures Trading Commission, but the law enforcement itself. In other words, don't fire the police. They have that what's that thing they say, Robin? Get rid of the police or something. I don't know. But anyway, the crypto, the great example. One of the great examples is if you're trying to move capital as a business from one continent to the other, you have to have the same amount of money in, say, Japan or Europe as you have sitting in America. So if you're moving $100 million or $200 million or $300 million as a major corporation, you have to have $300 million sitting in the United States. Defund the police, that's it. And so with Bitcoin, you can do a wash trade. You can do it instantly. You buy the Bitcoin in Europe or Tokyo and literally sell it simultaneously in the United States, and you don't have to have 300 million sitting in the United States. It just automatically turns into 300 million because you just moved it from, through Bitcoin itself. So that's why that's one of the reasons I'm very happy with the cryptos. I like anything that moves around the central bank is fine because I find the central bank to be, just kind of, old. It's like 19th century, the central bank. And all they're doing is increasing more debt and allowing politicians to spend more money, as we talked about at the beginning of the webinar here. What do we have? We have 6 minutes before the tell happens. So we'll see what's going on with the tell this morning. All right. For the PCE that's coming out in 21 minutes. In 6 minutes, we'll start to be able to look at the tell. All right. And usually it seems to work like almost 9 out of 10 times, if not better. So. All right, so there it is with the cable. Not the cable, I'm sorry, the GBTC. All right, from there, and we're open. If you have a desire to see something, just put it up there. We'll give you our opinion on it. I'll tell you what our algorithm is thinking about it, and our experience from it. Let's see, where are we at now? We were in currencies, right? Yes. So there's the yen. It's done. Let's go over to the Great Experiment and see what they're doing with that poor thing. The great experiment we refer to is the Euro-Turkish lira, which yesterday just missed closing at an all-time high. Today it's flirting with that all-time high. All-time close again. They keep on playing with all-time closes. It's like right there at all-time closes. I think the all-time close is like 3304 or something like that. 3304. That's the all-time close. And we keep on getting through it, but not closing it. And you can see we've been in that weekly buy all the way back in here. So it's been a good weekly buy run. You can see that. So metals? Yeah. What we do is we go into the metals right now. So what we do is we go like this. We go to the South African rand and look at that. We consider that's the number one brick in the world. So when the rand is going up, metals normally are going down. And when the rand is going down, which is gaining against the dollar, it's losing when it's rising, the metals go up. So we should be seeing much firmer gold. Instead, we're just seeing it in the silver. So here's let me show you silver real quick. Here is silver. Silver's been in a daily buy for 3 days, but it's in a weekly sell. So we're not exactly wanting to run after the poor thing. Here's the cable. The cable's, the cable. I keep on saying cable. Here's the gold. The gold's been in a daily sell for a while now. It's in a weekly sell. It went into the weekly sell back in here, then climbed on that crazy spike by China and the rest of the countries before the end of the year. They jammed it up, and then the next day it was down and back into the sell again. They were what we refer to as painting the tape. That's what we call that, painting the tape. We got 3.5 minutes to the tell signal. And so from there you can see gold is doing this at this moment in time. It is, what is it doing? It's the gold itself is trying to lift up a little bit today. We got a green and a red, but we've been underneath and we're in the weekly sell, and you can see it's even through the manifold. There's a lot of pressure there, and that's not normal. Usually when you see the South African rand gaining against the dollar. It seems to be being more translated into silver than it is through gold this time around. Metals, we can show you copper. Let's go to copper here. Copper is jumped because of the stimulus package in China. You can see it lasted like the gold that day. When China comes in and does something, it doesn't always help out more than just a short-term run. Our math picked up on it days before it happened, but again, we're in the weekly sell. So we're not exactly reaching for the product. We just know not to be short from this point on. That's all. Which is good. You don't want to be short through that move up, that's for sure. And so at the same time, it's just leaking now, like a little rowboat, just kind of leaky. And then the last of the metals that we look at is right here, platinum. And platinum has been holding on to that buy. And you can see it's trying to pick up, lift up. And we're in a weekly sell there too. So the metals overall in the weekly trends, all four of them are in sells, I believe. Yeah, silver's in a sell too. Let's just double check it again. Yeah, see, that's in a sell, weekly sell for going on this week again. And the signal confirms each week. That's what's nice about it. You can see the gold, the same situation. It's in that same situation. And none of the metals, let's just save that and put that in there. None of the metals, and like I said, even the copper, as much as the copper is looking so firm on a daily basis, it's not doing that good. Now, the fast is moving up to the zero line, but it takes a lot more work than that. And obviously, the daily protected you just as well. So that is the magic of it all. All right, now what we do is we go to the energies and check out the energy market. Copper, 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 copper. Let me just save it right there. And we're under a minute to the tell. So let's go over and take a look at the tell real quick. We watched the S&P 500 futures contract. And we put it in here. There it is. And so the news is coming out right. Let's put a line in there. Right. Okay, right. It's coming out right there. There's the news. They've just released it to the reporters. So the reporters have it. Now we watch and see how the product moves. And so far, here's let's do this. Let's widen it there for you. And so far, the start of this is not really reflecting anything yet. Let's see if it breaks down. It doesn't really look like it's even trying to break down. It seems like whatever number came out is not as much of a surprise. Now let's see if they start reaching for them. I guess they're saying inflation is backing off, right? I think that's if the inflation is soft and it starts to rise, that will be telling us that they're going to be buying this move. But notice there's no real push. It's staying relatively now, or they're pushing it down a little bit, so maybe the number will be up. Now, if we get this rolling over and go take out these lows here, or these lows right here, it will tell us that the number is not as good as people think. Just the fact that it didn't take off within that second or two tells me that the number is probably relatively acceptable and not very influential today. Now it's drifting. It's not too bad. We are in a minute after the news. Okay, it's backing off more and more. So some money is thinking to push it down. It's starting off relatively slow. A lot of times, almost like 9 out of 10 times, we show this all the time when there's major news coming, and the newspaper release or the info release to the media automatically shows an action of what the real move will be. So chances are, because of the way it's drifting down now, basically is going to tell you that the overall pressure will be on the stock market on the downside. And so we'll see that in 13 and a half, 14 minutes. We'll stick around for that just so you can see our charts doing that action there. So you can say, Doc, you were wrong. We'll be okay. It has to happen once in a while. It can't be right all the time, that's for sure. But it's about 9 out of 10 times is usually right. So the overall pressure will be a little bit on the downside, or will be on the downside, from the news when it's released at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. All right, now let's zip back and we'll keep an eye on that. Let's zip back to, where are we going? We're going to oil. Now here is March March oil. Been in the daily buy from there, and I happen to be in the weekly buy too at the same time. And so, we've seen a good march from the 73 area up to the 77 area, 77.51. That's been pretty cool. Let's put it up on the screen here on J4X. Let's put up Brent, West Texas, North Sea oil. And we have, let's see, where are you? Brent, where are you? You're here somewhere. There it is. There's Brent trading 81.26, looking very firm. You see the fast is at 83.7 and the slow is at 84. Okay, so it's trying to dip underneath at the same time. And then from there, I'm just going to take a quick look just to see what's going on. Oh yeah, they're still selling it down. So that's how that's going to play out. Let's see. So from there, what we have is, we can put Brent over here. Let's put the Brent with our algorithm on the beta. So right there. And there is the Brent. It's been in a buy for a bunch of days, and it's been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks. And you can see it's excuse me. You can see it's been climbing from the not really that far down, the 76 area, 75 area, something like that. And we've gotten up to the 82 area. So it's not exactly like screaming, or it's not with all the noise it's going. Basically, with all the noise in the Middle East and oil producing areas of the world, it's a little surprising that we're not seeing more action on that. What else can we say about it? I guess that's about it. Let's take a look at natural gas. I know that Mr. Biden, we had that big spike yesterday, and then it backed off by the end of the day. Mr. Biden, I think he's not outlawing, but he's stopped natural liquefied gas or something like that exporting. I don't know, the guy's got some of the strangest ideas about economics. But anyway, that came out yesterday as a presidential order. I don't know how well it'll do, but, at this point, 25 states are telling him, leave the National Guard alone in Texas. So, at this point, it's like a standoff between the president and half the country. From there, we go over to, let's see, that's the natural gas. So let's take a look at, where's natural gas on here? There it is right there. There's natural gas. You see that same thing. It's pressing down. It's trying to go into the sell. And let's put it up on J4X. Right there. So, and then you can see the weekly. It's been in the buy. It's trying to get out of that, but it hasn't done too good a job. It went into, last week, it slid into the sell for a week and climbed right back up into the buy. So we're going to be right back into that weekly buy today, even with them limiting fuel and so forth. Guy's crazy. He's trying to get rid of ceiling fans. What else is he trying to get out? Gas stoves. I don't know. Getting rid of a lot of strange things. All right, now let's go over to the, let's see, where's it at? Right here, let's take a look at that energy company in Spain. Now it was down to 25.25 yesterday. Let's see where it's at today. Still down in that area, still low. It's been in the daily sell for a while. This is a natural gas company in Spain, and it's the only way we can follow on a chart. The cost of natural gas in Europe, besides living there. And there it is. There you can see the same thing. $25.23 or euros. Maybe it's 25 euros and 23, and 25.27. You can see that pressure on the product. They're pushing down on it more and more. And then let's go back to the stock market. Now they've bounced the market up a little bit, but it's still down. So I would say just watching the way this thing is trading around, I don't think it's going to. I would say this. I wouldn't be surprised if the year over year is up like a tick or two. And when it comes to this, the month over month, it could be unchanged or, probably just sitting there. I would say it's probably something like that. Maybe it goes up a tick. That's what I'm thinking out of the action we've seen on the intraday, where they sold it down and they tried covering it, and it's being sold down again as we speak. So I really don't see anything sticking out, telling us anything more than that. A lot of times it stays down there. The news comes out and smack-a-doodle. So, what else is there? I guess that's... let's go around the world. Oh, you can't see what I'm talking about. There you go. Right there. So they sold it down from the news. There was a quick... How long did it do the buy there? The time frame was... 21 seconds to get up to here. 25 seconds? 26 seconds, something like that. And now they're pushing it down again. Let's take a look at the rest of the world. Let's take a look at the stock indices. One of the things that caught my eye was the Dow Jones Industrial Average was having its issues there yesterday. So let's take a look at it, and then they rallied it back up. Right there's the S&P 500 on a daily basis. We're still in a buy, and we've been in a weekly buy for a long while now, way back in the end of October. And then we got the NQs, the Tech 100, right there. And that's the same way. It's been in a buy, same all the way back to October. And then we go over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And that's been in a buy, all the way. It went into the sell there. The next day it was still in the sell because of green red, and now it's trying to do the same thing as get back into the buy. You can see it's overturned over there and there. So this is, it's trying to lift back up again. Then we go over to our beta and take a look at the world indices through the beta. And so we'll go with like the FTSE. And there's look at the FTSE move today. There's the FTSE taking off. Look at that move right there. Oop, where's the mousey at? It's a nice move. It's been in a buy for 4 days now. Then we go over to the CAC 40 right there. Right there. Wow, same situation, really lifting up today, taking off. And then we have the DAX. DAX is up firm too, but not as explosive of the other two. And then from there we go around the world a little bit. Let's check out the, let's go look at the Nikkei. There's the Nikkei. Nikkei up a little bit at one point today, and looks like it just fell off towards the end there. The Kospi, right there, the South Korean index. Now, why won't we get that? Let's see. Why is it not updating the Kospi? Interesting. We're not getting the Kospi. All right, let's go to the Chinese index. Oh, there's the Kospi. Kospi just came up. Let's go back to the Kospi again. There it is. And that popped up a little bit there. It popped up pretty decent. It's been in a long sell-off. They were saying how much it's influenced by the Chinese market. They must sell a lot to the Chinese market. And so with that recession going on, you can see the Chinese stock market looks like the Kospi. And they're just both, they seem to follow each other anymore. They're both like bouncing in the same ways. And then from there we go to the Hong Kong market. The Hong Kong market's a little bit more jagged and having its issues. So in other words, it took a while to kick it in the pants to get it to go down with the rest of China. But I'm sure the communists basically took care of that. And so I think that's the, I guess we should have, I don't know, we don't, like, what other Asian markets we should have a on here. We got Japan, basically Seoul, and the Chinese situation. All right. What else we got going on, traders? Let's go back over to the short term. And we're going to just, we got about 2 minutes to the news. Let's see. Let's put that up there. Let's figure out a title at this point. So today, let's find out the title. What's the title going to be? So what did we talk about today? We talked about the basics, but did we look in? Year over month over month versus year over year. Let's do that. Let's see. Let's put it in there. I think we'll call it something like. Oh wait a minute. That's the wrong thing. We want this to be up there. There we go. And so you see that white line when the news came out. They gave it to the reporters. Okay, so we're going to put a title today of, and it's going to be monthly versus yearly. Monthly. Oh, I did that all wrong. Monthly data over yearly. And that's going to be the title, monthly data over yearly. Because I think we really did describe that and talk about that and made it relatively clear. So here we go. We've got, what do we got here? We got 10 seconds. We've got 8 seconds. We've got 5 seconds. We've got no time at all. Bang! It's out. Let's see what they tell us what it is. And it, obviously what they started off with at the 15-minute point. Now that's the covering of it, of trying to take profits from what they knew inside. And there we go. Let's see, where is it at? And we'll get off when the number comes out. I mean, they're not saying it. It's not on Dukascopy yet. And let's see. Should spit out any second now. And our math was right. The way we read the math when the reporters get the news, it was going to be down. Now the question is, what were the data? Okay, here comes the data. Okay, so December core was up 0.2. 3 year over year, they're saying 3. Yeah, so they're saying it's sticky. Now I'm confused about that 3 because I keep on reading as 4.1 to be exact. So that must be one of the deep core. There must be some type of core. Let's see. Yana says it is at 02 at forecast. And that's what we thought the reporters showed, that it was probably flat to it. Okay, here we go. Huh. They must be taking the government spending out, the one I'm following, because it was because of the consumption by the government. It actually was 2.9, their core, instead of 3. But it was all because of the government spending money again. See, they're buying these numbers as we started the show off. So, all right, this is Doc from North America. Everybody have a safe and smart weekend. So everybody be careful and enjoy yourselves. Janos, take care. Catch you on Monday. Ta-ta for now. DB, thank you. All right. Have a safe and smart weekend. So, happy trails to you until we all meet again. Happy trails to you, all our trading friends. Later, later, traders. See y'all.